Hello! Today I'm easing myself back into YouTube with a little haul. I bought 7 books during my last trip to England. I've tried to divide them up a little bit. The first 4 are all in the realm of, really often they call it speculative fiction, although I don't really get it in my mind. Fiction is always speculation. Anyway, 4 books, all with a similar spin on this whole dystopian idea. The first one, I'm going to go chronologically by date of publication, is The Day of the Triffids. This was published in 1951 and in John Wyndham's book. We are put into a world in which most people have lost their eyesight. Our main protagonist hasn't though, and we follow him as he sort of maneuvers through this world, I reckon. All the time avoiding the bloodlust of the Triffids, which I think are sort of monstery plant things. Published in 1951, John Wyndham had lots and lots to choose from in the bookshop, but this was his most well-known, so I thought I'd start off with that. Then I got another cult classic in the world of science fiction, dystopian writing, all these labels, man. This is Women on the Edge of Time by Marge, Piercy. I told my mum that I got this and she said this was all the rage in the 80s for readers who were interested in more sort of feminist topics. The main character in this book is detained in a mental institution, and from what it reads on the back, she's sort of visited by a time traveller or has a link to the future. She sort of has to figure out possibly the utopian, dystopian versions, both likely of our world where gender inequality on the one hand it doesn't exist anymore, and in the other is a raging mess. But maybe she's also just crazy. This was published in 1976. So I'm quite curious to see how this reads, 40 years later? In similar vein, the third book I got was The Testament of Jessie Lamb. In this one, I believe women who fall pregnant die, basically. I'm not too sure on what happens in this. I'm guessing our main character will probably end up pregnant. But I'm thinking just from the blurb, it sounds like it explores topics again of gender inequality, empowerment of women and what they choose to do with their own bodies. Also, it sounds like there's a sort of father-daughter relationship at the heart of the story, which I'm always a sucker for. There's another one coming up where that's also the case. And to tie up these 4 books that I got, that all look at these dystopian worlds, basically, which I always find fascinating, especially because it always rings so true, is the much acclaimed The Power by Naomi and Alderman. This, I'm sure you've heard of, was published last year and won the Bailey's, oh I hate it when the stickers cover up, Bailey's Prize. In this world, our world, I guess, the touch of women is painful or lethal? Painful, at least, I think. So I guess this explores how possible power imbalances between the genders are maybe reversed or at least balanced out. I don't know. It's gotten some really good reviews. I did read the first 2 pages and found myself stumbling, not immediately getting into the writing style, and usually that's a bit of a knockout criterion for me and I end up not getting the book, but I really want to give it a try just because it's been so popular and it does tick a lot of boxes of just the plot, what I enjoy in books. Then I got 3 more books that all are also really illustrative of what I like. They are very obvious Faye picks in a bookstore, but at least we're leaving the dystopian world a little. The first is Our Endless Numbered Days by Claire Fuller. You can't really see that. This was published in 2015, and the current, or the second novel of this author, this being her debut, has just been published this year and is also getting quite a lot of buzz. Swimming lessons or something like that, I believe. But I thought I'd go with the first one. This centres around a father who I think kidnaps his 8-year-old daughter and takes her to live in the remote countryside. I don't know what the timeline of this is. I don't know if it's just that, and we have to question if they truly are in danger and that's why he took her, or whether he just kidnapped her, or whether there's a time where she's not living with him anymore. I don't know. I don't know. But I remember hearing about this when it popped up. So again, father-daughter relationship. Apparently that's something I'm into for the fall, autumn. I'm British, autumn. Then, because of these so powerful buy one get one half price stickers on books, I had 3 books that fell into the category. Would have been a waste not to get a 4th. I got Hot Milk by Deborah Levy. I don't really know what it's about. I sort of lazily read up on it in the bookshop, trying to decide whether I was going to buy it. I think it's sort of set in the Mediterranean, maybe a bit of a family story. It appealed to me though because of the 3 little sentences that are on the back book. It just appealed to my sort of angsty 27-something self, which is, today I dropped my laptop on the concrete floor of a bar built on the beach. My laptop has all my life in it and knows more about me than anyone else. So what I'm saying is that if it is broken, so am I. And that rang very true for me. And I think this will be a very poetic literary read. Do not know what it's about. Don't really have to before I start reading it, I think. And then the very last one I got is one of Ian McEwan's earlier books called The Child in Time. I hadn't heard of it and just picked it up because I was looking which novels of Ian McEwan they had at the bookstore. This, I believe, was published in 1987, something like that, and centres around a couple, I believe, whose child gets kidnapped. Again, I seem to have some themes in here, worrying, and how their relationship, their lives gets altered by this devastating thing happening to them and their daughter. I absolutely loved 2 earlier works of Ian McEwan, what was it called? On Chesil Beach and Enduring Love. Both of those I thought were harrowing, page-turning, but at the same time I had to close the pages to just sort of breathe so that I could get the guts to read on. Just really powerful and very beautiful. And I haven't enjoyed his 2 last books, which, if I'm not mistaken at least, his 2 last books, which were The Children Act and Nutshell. I read them both and thought the plot was really intriguing, but it fell flat for me. I emotionally felt really detached to those. So reading one of his earlier works that I don't know yet is hopefully a good one, and I hope I'll love it. So those were the 7 books I bought, hopefully to get me back into reading, because I haven't been super excited about anything in particular, and all of these books I really hope to read soon, and I would be curious for whatever I should read first. If you have any preference, or if you've read some that you really highly recommend, then let me know. I'll see you soon, and